to Binks TV. So I am going to talk to you about Costa Rica on this video. So what we did in Costa Rica, we did a group trip. So it was about 17, 18 of us that went to Costa Rica. People flew out from 2 destinations. They either flew out from Miami or New York City. So that's how we did it. And we had a travel agent that helped coordinate the trip for us. So we planned this trip like almost a year in advance, almost a little bit less than a year in advance. So everybody just had to put their money into her. You were able to choose between the regular suite, ocean view, and then top of the line. You choose, and then you choose what city you're flying out from. Then we had to send the money to her the first week of every month until you reached your remaining balance. If you did the standard suite with the flight, it included the flight, hotel, and private transportation. It was about, just based on the standard, about $1,300 per person. But Costa Rica was absolutely beautiful. It was, any word I think of is not going to justify the beauty of Costa Rica. Just the people, the land, the hills, the greenery. It was truly a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I highly recommend everybody visit Costa Rica. I still feel like I need to go back again because I still feel like I didn't see everything. Most of our time in Costa Rica we spent in Guanacaste and Tamarindo. Tamarindo is known for their beaches and like the surfing and everything like that. It has some really beautiful, quaint restaurants. Like we went to this one restaurant that had vines and everything going through. The food was amazing. Drinks were amazing. Had happy hour. Just the people are very open and friendly. So with the private transportation paid for someone to pick us up from our home in Miami, take us to the airport, and then once we got to the airport in Costa Rica, take us to our hotel, and then the same exact transportation going back. Because traveling with such a group of people, it's easier to get private transportation, to get everyone there on one accord and going back, because paying for your car to stay at an airport is extremely expensive, especially for the fact that we went for 6 days. So that's pretty much a week. So paying every day for your car to stay at the airport would have been, outrageously expensive. Lucky enough for us, we know a lot of people in Miami. We have a lot of family in Miami, so it's nothing to just like leave our car there. And then a lot of people left their cars just all at one house while we went away on the trip. When it came to excursions and stuff like that, I highly recommend to not book excursions prior to your trip. I think it's better to wait until you get there, because when you're staying at an all-inclusive resort, we stayed at Rio Guanacaste. I'll also drop a picture and the information about that, but we stayed at an all-inclusive resort. But once you get there, there's so many vendors there and on the beach that you can find things much cheaper than you do online. But I will say this: when you're going to the Caribbean islands and you are doing water excursions, if you are not a good swimmer, or if you're like a clumsy person or something just off like that, I suggest don't do the people on the beach, like the people that you just walk into and meet on the beach and they're like, hey, I could do this for you for like $50, like something much cheaper than everybody else, like more of like the commercialized people. The reason why I say that is because people that you meet on the beach like that, their jet skis and stuff like that are usually not insured. So if something happens to you on that beach, or if something happens to the vehicle, one, you're responsible for the vehicle, and then if something happens to you, they're not going to take you to the hospital. So when you're doing these commercialized people, they make sure you get to the hospital and things like that. We did the beach people, you know what I mean? We were all Jamaicans that went on this trip. We know the waters, we know how to handle jet skis, we know how to swim, and it doesn't matter how deep the water is, like we got this. So I say that if you feel like you're a comfortable enough swimmer, your balance, your coordination, you just, you're mature about your stuff, it's fine, saves you a ton more money. But if you feel like, oh, I'm probably gonna flip this jet ski and drown, go the commercial route. I'm just being honest. But yeah, we ended up doing jet skiing for like $50 a person. That was amazing. And then the next day we ended up going to this monkey sanctuary, where I'll drop the information for that, and that was like $10 a person, which was a great experience, because in Costa Rica they're very strict about their animals. So you're not allowed to actually touch them, but they're not allowed to be completely caged either. So when we went to this monkey sanctuary, All the animals were just out, like the monkeys, birds, everything was just out surrounding us. You know what I mean? They were able to swing right in front of you, walk around, and things like that. And then past that day, we went into Tamarindo after the animal sanctuary, and that's where we went to that restaurant. Had phenomenal food. I don't remember what that restaurant was called, but it was amazing. Is gorgeous. You won't miss it. The vines going through the restaurant, the pictures of all the celebrities, of Bob Marley and all the greats that have came through to that restaurant. So it definitely is like a great experience. And the food was without a doubt exceptional. And then they had a lot of street foods in Tamarindo. They had shopping and things like that. So we just wanted to be around, be in the atmosphere of what people typically do in Costa Rica. So we actually just got a private vehicle for that day for our crew of 17 people, which worked out to be about like $27 a person. And we had that private vehicle for the entire day. We ended up stopping at the local markets on the side of the street because, like I said, it's a bunch of Jamaicans, Caribbean people going on a trip. So the fruit that we see on the side of the road, we want to try. We're into all of those things. So we felt pretty much at home. You know what I mean? We had a lot of common interests between, you know, Jamaicans and Costa Ricans. So it was really nice to taste some things that we eat, the fruits, and just the culture, the vibe of Costa Ricans. We're very similar to how we get on. Very light and easy people. So if you're going with a group of people, it's definitely beneficial when it comes to pricing of things and just splitting it amongst you guys, because having a private vehicle for that time for only $27 a person is great. So that's what we did. We just kind of like explored the area, and we pretty much did that from like 9-10 in the morning all the way till about 7 at night. So we literally took advantage, spent the whole day out and about, whether it was the animal sanctuary, checking out Tamarindo Beach, eating, shopping, markets, just getting the full experience of the island. Then our other excursion that we did, it was kind of built into one. It was like this excursion park where we did a 1,400-foot water slide, horseback riding, tried their coffee, their foods. We were able to see how they make those things. That was like a great experience. It literally had everything wrapped into one of those activities, and that was literally about $110 per person to do all those activities. So it's really important to negotiate, because you can always negotiate a price, and especially if you have a good amount of people going with you on a vacation, the fact that I'm bringing this amount of people to your business, they're always willing to work with you. But it's definitely true. The animals, the scenery, the people, the sunsets are literally out of this world. After we actually went to that excursion festivity place with the horseback riding, the zip lining, the water slide, and all of that, they actually took us to this private dinner where we were like on the mountain overlooking everything next to the volcanoes, and it was just absolutely breathtaking. So Costa Rica was definitely a trip I will never forget, and we truly had a blast. I recommend you go and check it out. If there's any questions that you guys have, comment down below anything that I did not address. But I'm gonna have all the information for the places that we went to, the prices, and the hotel, the all-inclusive hotel that I stayed at. So again, thank you guys for tuning into Binks TV. I'm sorry I didn't do more of like a personal vlog while I was on the trip, but this trip was more relaxing and more personal to me. So that's why I didn't do too much of vlogging while I was actually out there. But next time I will. But more to come. Thank you guys for tuning in. Comment, like, subscribe. Let me know what you want to see down below. Have a great night.